Welcome back to day 2. Today, given algebraic fractions, you will be able to factor, reduce, and the new part for today, we are going to multiply them together. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Remember, our model for this unit, I will conquer fractions. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So when we are multiplying our algebraic expressions together, here are your steps. Number 1, we must factor all the terms if possible. Remember, when you factor, you must go in order. GCF, difference of perfect squares, trinomial, and then you can try grouping. All right, cancel any common terms in the numerator and the denominators, and then multiply all the numerators together and multiply all the denominators together. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first one. So number 1, well, first thing we have to do is factor. Can I factor anything? Nope, these are all just monomials. So next, we're going to cancel any terms in the numerator and the denominator. So you can cancel, because we're multiplying, the dots here mean multiply, you can cancel anything in the top with anything in the bottom. So right now I see there's a 5 in the denominator and a 5 in the numerator, so I can cancel those. I see there's a 3 in the numerator and there is a 9 in the denominator, and I know 3 goes into 9 3 times, so I can cancel this with this and get a 3. And let's see, I have a 10 and a 16. I think 2 goes into both of those, right? So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so now we're going to multiply the numerators together. So what's left in the numerators? Well, there's only a 5 left, so that stays there. And then we combine anything that's left in the denominator, so 8 times 3 is 24. And you have got it. Okay, next, let's go ahead and try number 2. Okay, so for number 2, let's see, can we factor 9x to the 4? Nope. Can we factor 10y to the 3rd? Nope, nope, and nope. So we can't factor anything, so now we can go to step 2, cancel any common terms. Well, I see that I have a 5 in the numerator and a 10 in the denominator, and I know 5 goes into 10 twice, so I can cancel the 5 and the 10, and we get a 2. Then I see, 9 and 6. What goes into both 9 and 6? 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Okay, and let's see, what else do we have in common here? Well, I have an x to the 4 and an x to the 2. So remember, when you divide variables, you subtract the powers. So x squared and x to the 4, we're left with x squared in the numerator. Okay, so now combine everything that's on the top. So we have a 3x squared. Okay, and then we're going to combine everything in the denominator. So here we have a 2, a y to the 3, and a 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then y to the 3, and you have just multiplied your second algebraic fraction. Okay, let's take a look now at number 3. So for number 3, okay, so it looks like we're going to have a little more work here to do. So remember, step number 1, factor. So let's see, can we factor 4 minus x squared? Yes, we can. So we can factor this, and it's going to be difference of perfect squares. I'm going to go right above it, and I'm going to factor it out. So I know that this is going to be a 2 and a 2. One gets a plus, one gets a minus, and the square root of x squared is just x and x. You zoom in there. Okay, now 6c squared, you can't factor that. It's a monomial. 12c is a monomial, you cannot factor it, but now 3x minus 6, we can factor that. So we're going to go 3 and then x minus 2. So we did a GCF. So now I factored that and I factored that. So now we have to look to see, is anything exactly the same in the numerator as it is in the denominator? Well, I have a 2 minus x in the numerator and an x minus 2 in the denominator. They're close, they're not exactly the same, but they can cancel. This is our special case, and we get a -1. Then if I look, I have a 6 and a 12. So 6 goes into 12 2 times, so I can cancel that. I have a c in the numerator and I have a c squared in the denominator, so I can cancel out one of the c's and I'm left with just c. All right, so now we're going to combine everything in the numerator. So x plus 2 plus x times -1 times 2, that gives us a -2, 2 plus x, all over. And then what's left over in our denominator? We have a c and a 3. C times 3 is 3c. And we've got it. Okay, let's try another one. So let's take a look. The first thing we have to do is factor. Okay, so 2x squared minus x minus 6. Well, can you find a GCF? Nope. Can we use dots? Nope. Can we use trinomial? No trinomial here because this value in front of your x squared is larger than 1, so we have to use factor by grouping. I'm actually going to go over to the side up here and I'm going to do factor by grouping. So this is going to be 2x squared blank blank minus 6. Then we're going to take the -6 and the 2. 2 times -6 is -12. I need to find two numbers that multiply to -12 and add to -1. So that's going to be -4x and positive 3x. Now we're going to do our grouping. So I'm going to find my GCF of the first group, which is going to be 2x, x minus 2. I'm going to group the second term, and I'm going to have a GCF of 3, x minus 2. So then I'm going to get 2x plus 3 and x minus 2. So that's my factor by grouping. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cross this off, and I'm going to replace it with my factored terms. Okay, so I factored that out. 10 cannot be factored, 1 cannot be factored, 2x plus 3 cannot be factored, but it is a binomial, so I'm going to put parentheses around it. Now let's see, can we cancel? Is anything exactly the same in the numerator as it is in the denominator? Sure is. We can cross off 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. So let's see what's left. X minus 2 times 1. Okay, all over. And what's left in the denominator? Just a 10. And that is our final answer there. Okay, let's cross it over. I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered, so let's try just a couple more examples here. So let's take a look now at number 15. Okay, what I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to try this one on your own. So I'm going to have you pause the video, cancel whatever you can, and reduce anything in the numerator with anything in the denominator. All right, let's see. Were you able to get 3r? If you were, you can go ahead and continue watching. If not, let's pay careful attention here. So nothing can be factored, so we can go right into canceling. So let's take a look. 6 goes into 42 7 times. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Then I have x squared, those are going to completely cancel. Now if I look over here, I have 15 and 35. Both of those are divisible by 5. So I'm going to divide both of these by 5. 15 divided by 5, we're going to get 3. 35 divided by 5, we're going to get 7. Then I have r to the 3, r squared. So there's 2 r's in the bottom, there's 3 on the top, so we can cancel out at least 2 of them. We're left with just r. But now look what happened. We have a 7 in the numerator and a 7 in the denominator, so we can now cancel those again. The 7 cancels with the 7, and we're left with just 3r. Okay, now that we did that one, I'd like you all to now try number 6. So go ahead, factor first, cancel out anything that you can, and then plug in your correct answer. All right, let's see what happens. So I went ahead and I factored everything first. Okay, and now we can cancel. So I see I have an m plus 3, m plus 3, a plus b, a plus b. So those are going to cancel. So let's see what's left over in my numerator. I have a 7, m plus 5, and then what's left over in the denominator? Just a 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. We have just practiced multiplying our algebraic fractions. Have a great night.